Well, what a glorious day finally, even though this is technically, we're the #1 in the world for our air quality here. We're outside of technically JFK. We're the first beach of the beaches on Long Island. This is Atlantic Beach. And we're gonna go through an incredible project that's started really probably because someone shouldn't have bought it and then decided to buy it, and then we ended opening up a can of worms, but it's become a master class in things that I've never done before, so we're gonna have fun walking through it. We're standing in a driveway, and this is a homeowners association, and it's private, so that means they have a security guard. That means that no one can be in this community during the summer from Memorial Day to Labor Day. They can't park in the driveway. They can only park, they can't park in the blacktop. They can only park in the owner's driveway. Otherwise you park out on Ocean Boulevard. And it's for privacy reasons. So no one can come here, and the beach is right on the other side of the house. They have a pool. They have, I guess, a wonderful private property. For the summers, and all these people have houses everywhere else around the country. I don't know who comes from other places. There might be a few Canadians here, I'm not really sure. But what happened is we ended up using the garage. It's a single car garage. We used this garage as our storage and entry into the house. We were faced with, not starting with, the whole complete renovation of this home, gutting from the basement up and then ultimately replacing all the windows and doors. So these are Marvin new windows, coastal doors. They're probably at just below the highest level of their windows and doors, and they're phenomenal. Bronze on the outside. So they account for the shear factor and the water and environment, and they're really quite fantastic. But we kind of had to get into two parts of that to convince the owner to really do it, because when we opened one of those windows, literally it fell off because it's been 40 years. This is built in 1980, and the construction was just another story along the way. So here we are, we've been using the code. It's a garage door that we basically entered and exit this home without keys for, the whole time. So this project started in probably last 2 years ago. So in 2021. And we're finishing now. We have a few more things for the C of O, but this little tiny garage is really how we stored a lot of the things, and just used, the cars we drive up, drop off, unload, and then leave and park out there. As you can see here, we have glass for our elevator, which is the whole reason we did this project was because of an elevator. So we'll go inside and see how this beauty unfolded. One of the things that we knew we had to do, and we planted, this is annual plantings that we do here, or I did for her this year, that she will have to continue to do, is a generator. So this is a Generac generator. And a lot of people that live near the water, now, if you had to build on the water, you couldn't do what we have here. Here we have completed a finished basement, and we have a generator. It's Generac, so it turns on within 15 seconds of you losing power. Maybe she'll put something else here when we finally have the C of O. She'll have to figure out what she's going to do next year. Maybe it's another fence over here. But basically this supports the house for probably everything full tilt, except you've got to be careful about your air conditioner, and it's relaying the load to the garage. There's a breaker in the garage just for this generator. We've already replaced the condensers. We had to move the exhaust fan there was an exhaust from the basement by the front door, which was just crazy. But let's go in the house and see what we have. Here we have a new storm door, screen door. This is by Provia, and it's really quite lovely. Changed it so that we have obscured glass and a beautiful way to enter your home. Before it was a door that was kind of rotted and falling apart, and it didn't work. So come on in. All right, so to begin the story, there's probably several chapters of this story here. All started with someone who has rented out here and loves it out here, and we're really right on the water, and we'll pan and take some shots that can show you how close we are. I don't even think we're 25 yards from the beach right here. And they used to rent here. And as a family, because she has kids who have grandkids, this is really their summer destination, if you will. And we were supposed to finish by Memorial Day, but the elevator was delayed. It was supposed to be here in April, and so we're here negotiating the finishing of this without being fined $1,000 a day, because it is a private homeowners association, which I talked about. And what we did is we had to rethink how we were going to do everything and have it be an open, light, and airy space. So everything's changed. There used to be a closet here and this big, huge waste of space with the powder bath taking over a bay window, which is now part of the kitchen and a kitchen storage closet. We had to reroute the supply of the central air. There was an existing central air. We already had to replace the condensers outside and put in the wood grills, an original supply and return. This is the return that we couldn't navigate around, and some piping and venting that is literally in that corner of the closet. But there's this really adorable little, small, but it does the trick. Oops, forgetting how to open my door here. But it's got the pop out handle, so you can open the door and close the door, and it's probably I think it's about 56 inches wide with a window, and it's suitable for a pocket door. Our whole battle was this. Originally it was supposed to be 28 inches because we wanted a soft close pocket door, but we had problems with the vent, so we got stuck with having to shrink it a bit. So it's the one compromise that I wish we didn't have to make, but for what it is, a powder bath when you come in is lovely. And we're going to really probably walk through the main entrance here just to see what the real piece de resistance is, which is the whole project was wrapped around putting in a 3-story floating, it's called a balcony elevator. And it's all glass, and it's a Savaria, which is Canadian. Even though it's just, installed by Day Elevator here. And it's just been kind of difficult because the engineer didn't give us the right dimensions in all his drawings, and this space that you see was non-existent. So bottom line was you had this little tiny stairwell here, and we'll cut in before and after. It was not even 30 inches, and it was like carpenter stairs on a half wall. And this is like a giant bowling alley. There was very little light. The kitchen windows weren't as big as they were. I've opened up the bay windows here. I've added picture windows. I've added big doors and all those things that when we walk through this, you'll see it completely changes the space. And the reason they're out here is because it's a summer home and because we're right on the water. It's just got spectacular views. And changed the patio. I ripped out what was an ugly old slate patio, in my opinion, because it didn't take over the property line. So it's gotten larger, it's more practical, it's beautiful, it's sustainable. We've got, when we go out there, that'll be the end of the story, but the whole point of this is that I'm all about light, air, and views. And to me, this is really important to ground this in nature. And what we have here is, I think, a perfect solution for being in a property like this. So the floors actually are rift and quartersawn white oak, and they're sealed with a Nordic. It's Bona, but it's a Nordic seal, so it's a whitewash and a high traffic 3 finish coats. The stairs are finished the same way with a custom rail, and same finish throughout. And my custom approach to elegant simplicity is that I really like less is more, and I absolutely love this simpler view of how this stairwell wraps around what we needed to have. We'll come back and we'll have to shoot the elevator in operation because I chased them out of here and it was crazy. It was like staging chaos. We were moving the glass down to the basement, have it in the garage, and when we come back, we'll show you how this works. We probably ran this 30 times yesterday, but because of OSHA, they made me lock it up, so we couldn't. But the buttons in there, you really go into the basement and the upper first floor and second floor. And this has like opening bifold doors that are automatically opening. We're going to put an oak floor in this, and it's just amazing. It fits 3 people easily, and perfect for bringing things up and down to help her, because she's handicapped with, I think it's hydrocephalitis. So she has to use a walker all the time and has to have someone with her. She can't really walk. However, let's start here with, we had to cut open, notch the edge here to fit this damn elevator in, and we had to notch the bottom. But let's start at the beginning, which is when we first discovered this house. There was a building inspection an inspector who said, you have a crack in the foundation. I maybe think you've got to get that inspected and really decide whether you should buy the house. But she bought the house. So let's go talk about the master class in masonry and water.